Hello, I'm Sherry Oliver, and I'm coming to you today to share with you about living a full and joyful life with God. Hello, I'm looking forward to getting better acquainted with all of you, and I just want to be able to share with you some of the marvelous things that God is teaching me these days and leading me into. He is so much more than I ever thought when I first became a Christian. And He is just expanding my understanding and expanding my sense of His love and my sense of His care for all of us. And I just want to be able to share that with all of you so that you don't miss out on these things that I was missing out on for so many years. You know, it's amazing, but he has given each of us a guardian angel. And generally in churches over the years, this really hasn't been much mentioned, hasn't been much talked about. But even when it has, we haven't been taught anything about how we can interact. We can actually have like a friendship with our angels that are with us. We can have a relationship where we can talk to them and we can enjoy being with them. They already enjoy being with us. They love being with us, and they love the work that the Lord has them doing in our lives, watching over us, protecting us, even helping us to get along with other people. Isn't that something? I just think we have so much more to learn. And I am really thankful that I have some other teachers who are teaching me as well. And we are getting together and learning from one another and really enjoying the fellowship of it. Do you know, the greatest thing that God wants for us to do is to love one another. And of course, that includes loving Him. You know, we are all His children. Everyone is a child of God. And most of us have gone astray. We have not lived in the way He wants us to live. And the way He wants us to live is the way that's really going to make us the happiest and give us the most blessings in life. Sometimes we think His ways are hard and that we don't like them. But really, He knows what's best. And so He really wants a relationship with us, and that relationship is a love relationship. And He loves us even if we don't love Him. He loves us even if we don't know Him. He is always reaching out to us and giving us another chance to get to know Him. And He's always waiting for us to come to Him. He just waits. He's patient. He's very, very patient. Much more patient than we are. And I know so many times we have been taught that, oh, God gets angry if we don't do the things He wants us to do, or if we do bad things. Well, He doesn't get angry in the way we think about getting angry. He gets angry because we're hurting other people. And He doesn't like that. He doesn't like us to hurt other people because He loves them too. And so really giving in and doing things the way God wants us to do them is the way that's going to make us all the most happy. And that's what He really would love to see. But He's not out to punish us. He's not out to reject us because we haven't done things His way. He's always just waiting for us to come home to Him. You know, many of us have had children that have grown up and gone away and really have forgotten really to take time with us, or who don't like us anymore. They got mad about something and they left. Or maybe they didn't want to live the way we lived, and so they just rejected us along with how we live. And this this happens to God all the time. You know, he he knows what it's like, but it's hard. We know it's hard because we still love our children, even if they don't want to have a relationship with us anymore. Our heart still wants that connection with them. And that's how God is with us. He wants that connection with us. And he wants to develop a deeper relationship. Did you know that you can actually have talks with God? Now, we don't always hear his voice in words, especially maybe at the beginning we don't, although some people do right from the beginning. So there's no formula for it. It isn't the same for everyone. But you may hear words coming, and it may even sound like it's your voice, but you know you didn't think it up. And that's God speaking to you. Of course, Satan likes to speak to us too. But when he speaks to us, it makes us feel bad. It gives us shame. It gives us things that pull us away from love, away from living in the way that God would have us live. And when he speaks to us, he wants to make us feel smaller and less important. And God speaks to us in a way that makes us feel loved and accepted, and that puts joy in our hearts. So when you hear the thoughts that come that you know aren't your thoughts, and they make you feel better, those are God speaking to you. And we can have conversations with him to learn how to understand his ways and to learn how to understand what to do in the situations we're in. Now, he doesn't always tell us what to do. He just sometimes wants us to make up our own mind, or sometimes just wants to see what we will do, because he created us to be the person that we are, and we're all different. Each one of us is different. And he created us just to have a place in this world that nobody else has, and to be a person that nobody else is. And he gives us each individual ways and individual gifts and individual looks, and our bodies are all different, a little bit at least different. Even twins are different. and he doesn't want us all to be the same. And it's okay to be yourself, you know. Sometimes we think being ourselves is just kicking against what we have to do, what we've been taught we have to do, and it doesn't fit us. Well, sometimes that is part of it. Sometimes we've been forced to be in a mold that doesn't fit us. In other words, like trying to put a square peg into a round hole. You know, you could pound all you want, but you have to shave off the edges of that square in order to get it to fit in the round hole. Well, he doesn't want us to shave off the edges, you know. He wants us to be whatever shape he created us to be. And he's happy when we are that way. So we have to learn how to be who we are, and yet be that in a way that is loving and caring for other people. Sometimes we have to give up our own way and do it somebody else's way, just because we love them. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, because those are the things that are best for us to do. But other times, he wants us just to do what's really on our hearts to do, because that's what he put in us, and he wants us to have the freedom to be that way. So I encourage you today, if you don't know the Lord personally, if you just know about him, maybe you've read some in the Bible, maybe you haven't even done that. You've only heard what other people said. I encourage you to get to know him personally, because he's always right there waiting, and he's ready. He's always ready for us to come to him. And, he's such a big God that it doesn't matter that there are millions of us in the world. Each one of us can come to him and still have that time with him, just one-on-one. He'll give us all his attention. And that is so amazing when you think about it. But of course, his mind is so much bigger than ours. He can handle all of this at once. And, when you see the complexity, how intricate everything fits together in the world that he created, it gives you a little bit of a glimpse of how big his mind is. And then you add to all of that he created all of the stars, all of the galaxies, everything in the universe. And he created the whole way that it works, and that it always just keeps going. And, nobody has to push start the moon. Nobody has to push start the stars to go through their cycles. And really, it's our Earth going through its cycles that makes it look like the stars are going through their cycles. But still, it's all because he set it in place, and it works that way. And yeah, maybe it will run down in time, as some say. But if so, it's because he said it that way, and he knows what's going to happen. What's most on his heart is not us keeping the 10 Commandments or keeping all the laws that the Jewish people had to keep, or keeping all the laws that the Muslim people keep, or keeping all the laws that the Christian people keep. That isn't what's most on his heart. What's most on his heart is us just keeping the law of love. To love the Lord our God with all our heart and all our soul and all our mind, and to love our neighbor. In other words, everyone around us, to love everyone around us the same way as he loves us. And to love them whether or not they're nice to us. If you're trying to love people, if you're trying to be loving, trying to do the right thing, the good thing, the kind thing, even though you don't feel it, well, that is of some worth, because it does make a difference in how other people feel. But really, the love we need to be able to give is the love that can come from God putting his love inside of us. When we invite him to come into our lives and be in us. I used to hear people say, invite Jesus into your heart. Well, what that really means is to invite his Spirit to come into you and to be there and be a part of who you are, and to give you all the abilities that God has to love and to create and to have strength and stamina. Well, I'll tell you, I don't live up to all of that yet. I haven't probably given him all the freedom he needs. I haven't given him all of the freedom that he needs to do all of those things in me yet. And probably because I don't understand it all, or maybe because I'm still trying to do things my way. I don't know yet. He's still teaching me. But, when it comes, I will be well. I won't be sick anymore. And when his love comes in and fills us, it fills us to overflowing. And I have experienced that. And it's a marvelous thing, because it enables us to love people we don't even know yet. It just flows through us and gives us a sense of how God sees that person. And when we see how he sees them, we can't help but love them. If you already know the Lord, Ask him to give you his eyes to see other people and his heart to love them. If you don't know him yet, then just open your heart, open your mind, and set your will to let him come in, to let him set you free, to be filled with love, to be filled with joy, to be filled with strength and energy and power, because he is the source of all of those things. And that's where we really can find what we need to live this life and be joyful, despite the circumstances around us. You know, we all make some bad choices. I've made some bad choices in my life. Some of them I even thought were good choices. Like when I spent time going to India over the years, and the doctors told me that I should take antibiotics the whole time that I was there so that I wouldn't get malaria. Well, it turns out that taking antibiotics the whole time I was there did keep me from getting malaria, but it ruined my whole digestive system. So I now am paying for the consequences of doing that, even though I thought it was a good thing at the time. You know, I never thought to ask God if I should do it. I just didn't think of it because I was being told it was the right thing to do. So we have to learn how to check things out with God, that, and not just take people's word for it. I'll say that. You know, even many churches have taught things that I think don't please God. And I know they haven't done it on purpose. And God just wants us to grow to the point where we hear his voice, and that way we're learning what he really wants and expects and has planned for us, and it puts us in a place where we honestly are able to receive the benefits of having him be our teacher and our shepherd, our leader. You know, there's nobody that cares more about us than he does. He truly, truly cares. And he has good plans for us. You know, even before you were born, he made plans for you. And so he's always trying to help us make our way into those plans so that we will have the best life. And sometimes we just don't get it. We're kind of not hearing him. We're just not hearing him, and we're not paying attention. But when we come into the place where we begin to have a relationship where we just can talk to him and hear him and feel him and experience his presence every day with us, things change. It makes a difference in our lives. So it's my prayer that all of you will begin to open yourselves to this. Check it out. Try it. See if you can hear God. And if you can't, be persistent. Keep trying. You know, sometimes when we first try to hear God, we just get a feeling, or some idea pops into our head, or a picture flashes across our minds, like in our imagination. He created our imaginations, and we have what's called, we've just named a golden imagination. In other words, our best imagination is the imagination that comes from the Holy Spirit working in us. And then we begin to imagine the things that God has for us to see and to experience. And it's, wow. It's better than going to Disneyland. It's better than the best vacation. It's better than the most beautiful scenery. And it's better than the best love. When you get into that place where He's taking you where He wants to take you and showing you what He wants to show you. It's such an amazing thing. Such an amazing thing. And He can take you even in the midst of your troubles. He can take you when you're in a really bad situation. You might be homeless. You might not have anything to eat. You might not have people around you who love you. He can take you and put you in a place that's beautiful and where you can receive love and where you can have your needs met. His ability far exceeds what we have understood as something that we can take part in. And it's all because He can enable us. When we let Him into our lives, when we open the door of our hearts or minds, our bodies, just to let Him in, then He can do these marvelous things in our lives. So I encourage you today, be brave. Open the door. Open the door. Let Him in. Let Him into places you haven't let Him into before. Let Him in new ways and go on some new adventures with Him. It's a wonderful thing. It's the best thing you can experience, and better than all the best gifts of Christmas or any time of year when you get gifts and have celebrations. It's better than that. So much to look forward to, and He loves you so much. Don't let His heart be broken because you won't come. Don't let His heart be broken because He loves you so much. And it doesn't matter if you're Christian or Hindu or Muslim or any other religion or no religion at all. He's still waiting for you to open yourself to let Him come in.